Hello and welcome back to the channel. Before we get into the video, if you're new here, I highly recommend checking out my intro video titled Why I Started Narrow Gauge Studios to get a sense of what the channel is all about. In my last video on pay to win systems, I mentioned I had 3 videos in, not including my intro. Correction. This is my 3rd video in, not including intro. So a very special thanks to everyone who's been supporting me on Rumble. The response to all my video has honestly been mind-blowing. If you're enjoying the content and want to be a part of this journey as Narrow Gauge grows, hit follow. Now let's get into it. Next up on the list of real issues that often gets grouped with microtransactions, loot boxes. In this video, I'm not going to bore you with how loot boxes are gambling or why that's bad. Instead, I'll highlight a more subtle issue that has yet to fully reveal itself. But first, a quick reminder of the history behind the gaming community's effort to uncover loot box drop rate percentages. Side note, as I learn what can or can't legally be said publicly, I'll avoid naming active studios or products unless they're out of business. There will be a link for every example I reference or companies vaguely mentioned in the description. For many years, many individuals, players and researchers alike, have tried to find out the drop rate odds across console, PC, and mobile games that contain loot box systems. These individuals have shared what little information they found out through online videos, forums, or word of mouth. Why? It's because the community wanted to know the odds of getting the items they actually wanted and how much money it might cost them, while gaming companies refuse to reveal that information. At first, the gaming community's efforts seemed successful when companies were forced to reveal official drop rates. In 2017, several companies disclosed percentages, but only in the countries that required it and only for the versions of the game released in those regions. Some studios later were fined for providing false odds and suspected of manipulating drop rates. We'll come back to this one. In 2019, it seemed like studios saw the writing on the wall. It was only a matter of time before law required companies to disclose odds. So a group of them pledged to reveal drop rates by 2020 and onward before each game launch. But that pledge was just for show. It wasn't until a 2024 mandate in South Korea that a major game finally disclosed its drop rate percentages globally. So while the community's efforts were in vain, transparency and timing remain highly questionable. As promised, now let's talk about a more subtle but more concerning issue that still hasn't fully revealed itself: changing drop rates over time. I mentioned that some studios were fined for providing false odds and suspected of manipulating drop rates. Well, I suspect many companies realized that once drop rates were disclosed, the next question would be, do drop rates stay the same over time? This question is very important because it helps players understand whether adding more cosmetic items to a loophole causes that drop rate for items players really want to increase, stay the same, or decrease over time. But this question presents a huge problem for gaming companies. Why? It's because this question might expose, or at the very least raise suspicion, that gaming companies are intentionally setting the drop rate for items players really want extremely low, then flooding the loophole with cosmetics to reduce the odds of getting those items. This encourages players to keep spending, hoping they'll eventually get what they want. For those who are skeptical of this theory, ask yourself, why are companies afraid to reveal drop rates from the start? Why don't they reveal drop rates after each addition of cosmetics to the loophole? If adding items increases the odds of giving players the items they really want, gaming companies will be proud to share that. If the odds stayed the same, that will also be good PR. But if the odds decrease as more items are added, players would realize they are being baited into spending more for lower chances, and that would hurt profits. Here is a quick example. Start with 100 total items. 5 legendary equals a 5% drop rate. Add 100 new cosmetics, 200 total. Only 5 are still legendary, equals a 2.5% chance. Even if 5 more legendaries are added, totaling 10, your odds of getting a specific legendary drops from 1 in 20 to 1 in 40. That's how dilution works. Your chance of getting a rare or desirable item decreases as more cosmetics are added, yet players aren't informed this is happening. Legally, companies can change odds whenever they want, while players assume nothing has changed. So, it's not enough that companies are required to reveal initial drops, they should also be obligated to reveal ongoing adjustments. So, what does the fight against loot boxes look like? First, I will never tell anyone what to spend their money on. But for Narrowgate, we are completely against loot boxes and will never include them in any future game projects. So there you have it. If you're enjoying the content and want to help Narrowgate grow, hit follow. See you in the next one.